All right, well, there you have it. Rear end 4-link brackets welded on. Look nice and square. Welds are, decent-ish, good enough, I think they have held up in every other one, so I'm confident they'll hold up on this one as well. So, look good there. Wrapped them all the way around the bracket. Everything looked great, fit great, so feeling good about that. I got a few when I was, instead of welding downhill, I welded uphill and kind of rolled a couple, but yeah, it's on there. I did well on the inside, just in this spot. I feel with all this wrapped around the outside of all of these brackets going up and around them, it'll be more than enough to hold that. So we should be good. Like I said, it's all the way around 360 degrees, and then kind of just stitched a little bit across, especially on that one because there's a lot more there. Hey, we're back in business, boys. So next, we need to let that thing cool off. And then what I'd like to do is actually slide the axles in that, bolt just rims under this so we can make sure when we set this, if it was to destroy, it will. Might take Jason a little bit of driving. It's going to be a different animal, but when it blows the tires and it's sitting completely on rims only, we want to make sure we have plenty of clearance on the 4-link. Because obviously one of the main goals is to make sure you can drive off the pad under your own power. So we want to make sure, because that's the issue we had in Death Trap the first time. I think I actually cut off this entire bottom hole on the Death Trap one because we just didn't have it configured right. That when the tires would blow, plus we were running 15-inch rims, so from the center of here, in fact, to the bottom of that, really wouldn't even allow a 15-inch rim to work. So that's why we ended up switching everything over to 17s. Camaro's the only one with 15s, but since that's going to be going bye-bye, this one will be on 17s as well. So let that cool off, and then we will, like I said, get some axles and some steel wheels. Quit rambling on, and let's get this thing sat underneath it here. I decided to show this again. Just the size, the magnitude of these axles is, I don't want to say astonishing. It's got big shafts, guys. But yeah, no, I mean, it's a big deal. 40 spline axles. I mean, I've seen them before, obviously, because we run 40 spline in all of them. Maybe? I don't even know. Except Burning Green. So, yeah. 40 spline axles going under the new Dodge. So let's go ahead and, like I said, put these in. I just want to give you a quick shot of those. ARP half-inch studs as well. So we're set. Let's drop these in. I don't think I'm going to get crazy. Just tap them in as close as they'll go. And we'll call it good. And I'm not going to put backing plates trying to suck them in. So let's put them on. Slide it under there. Put the wheels on. Well, we just got a fresh delivery in. And you would have guessed. Holly. Gosh, who would have known? Look at this. We've got main harness. We've got a Pro Dash, main power harness. This is probably fuel injector, coil. We've got some additional harnesses for the Dominator, O2 sensors, coils. We've got some pressure sensors, transducers, 100 psi, like a map sensor, intake temp sensors, all that stuff. And of course, the cherry on top, the Holly High Ram. But, you know us. Gotta be more like that, with an adapter plate on the top to put that nice 671 Littlefield blower on top. There's a look at everything we got, guys. So we're making some headway, and also got a package back here from Moran Racing Injectors. So that is the injectors back to the Camaro, which is sitting over there, nestled up in the corner. So now I am actually getting ready to leave right now for vacation with the kids and the wife. So I'm gonna take a little break here. But this is where I'm leaving as of Tuesday. I will be back on Saturday late, so I'll bust ass on Sunday to try and get that rear end in there. I have the brackets, I believe, to make everything work. So that is the goal, guys. So let's see if we can get this thing. I mean, it's technically sitting on wheels, but it's sitting on jack stands. But yeah, I think we can make it happen. And then we got to get started on getting that 6.4 taken over to my brother's, get it torn down, and then getting our adapter plate, waiting on the material for that so we can make that ourselves. And then Jason's got rods. He's actually got headers coming. Those will be here while I'm gone. So we can start setting this motor down in the frame. I want the headers here because if I put the motor in, let's say, an inch too low and I could have made off-the-shelf headers work, that would be a stupid mistake on my part. So headers will be here before I'm back. And we're going to go right into putting the motor in next. So let's see where we get on Sunday. And then you guys will know, obviously, in the next clip. All right, well, I'm glad we did that. I mean, visually to me, it doesn't look much different, but I'd have to do a before and after. But I think she's sitting pretty good. And again, that's with rims on the back, so it'll level out when we get actual tires on there that we're going to pop. I mean, driving off the pad like this doesn't bother me. It's sitting there with the tires on that I just want it to look like a nice flat level look. But float, you know, low to the ground, have a nice flow to it. So yeah, I think we're good there. I think the biggest thing now is I can get started on this rear end and the 4-link brackets, these big drop plates that we got to drop that cross member down to keep our lower bars basically flat. Because I think, don't quote me, but every other one I've done, I keep the rear bar on your 4-link bars, the top one usually angled down and the bottom one usually flat. And that does give you leeway to raise or lower the bar, you know, if you want to angle it up or down. But I think that's looking pretty good. I'll send a picture to Jason and ask him. But yeah, we can, we got to make sure we slip on our second 4-link bar on there on both sides. And then these big plates are going to get sandwiched onto the 2x3 here, which I will show you coming up. We'll weld those all up. I do have some material to actually box them in coming down this angle and up the front, just to make sure, because they are very tall pieces. I want to make sure that all the side load, we don't get any bending out of them. So that'll be next. Well, the last couple hours have just been a lot of measuring, levelness, more measure level, and I don't believe that it's in there 100% square, but for a burnout vehicle and having 4-link bars that you can adjust and roll everything, I think we're going to be fine. So I went ahead and, as you've seen there, got it tacked in, and I think I'm going to call it there. It's pretty hot out in the shop right now, being that I just got back today and haven't had the air on. It's like 80-something degrees out here, so I think I'm going to call it for tonight. I'll come out tomorrow. I think I'm going to weld that in, just double check a few more measurements, and maybe I'll tack it some more. And what I'll do is I'll get the 4-link bars measured out and get the rear end centered in the rear wheel tub, and maybe we'll go that way. I haven't seen the shocks show up yet, so we should be seeing those from Strange here anytime soon, so that'll help as well, so we can get the tabs and the bar across for that as well. We'll have to cut out the one. That temporary bar will need to be cut out, because that was just put in there. There's going to be a bar that's back a little bit further with the tabs coming off of the shock. So we'll catch you guys tomorrow in the morning. And like I said, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make a roller. Damn flies. Just because I don't have shocks. But you know what? I'm going to get it to the point where maybe I just put a piece of bar in there or something, or a square tube. We'll figure something out, but we'll catch you in the morning. Geez, busting out the high-tech equipment. Look at this little plumb bob thing. So I got that out so I could take a measurement from somewhere on here, which I ended up taking it from the face of this back to that string at 20 3/4. Hopped on the old computer, pulled up the bracket for the front and the rear, and then minus off the distance from here to here, and then also the same from the rear bracket, because obviously these holes are not directly in the center of the tube, so it took off that distance. Lower bars, I believe, are going to end up at 16 1/2, and then upper bars, obviously they range because you know where you're going to go on your bar length, if you're going to be shorter or longer, but I'm going to go 17 3/8. We're not drag racing it. I just basically need this in there to keep the rear end nice and sturdy, good beefy rod ends and stuff like that, instead of doing like a cheap poly kit or something like that. That's the main reason why we're doing all this, is just to make sure that it is going to hold up. So as long as Adam can weld it good and keep everything from cracking, we'll be good to go. So I'm going to start by putting these tube ends in. I need to grab a Hemi out of there, and then obviously the other left hand, right hand one, or whatever one I'm missing. Measure this all out with some stick out on both ends, know how much to cut off the tubes, and then we'll cut them down and tack them together and put this rear end in there. At this point, like I said, missing shocks, so we're going to have to figure out a way to hang it there for now, but we'll figure out something. I can always go back to welding everything in if everything looks good, and then hopefully the shocks will be here soon. Well, there we go. 4 link bars are in. They're all welded up. Went ahead and started welding this section on top of here so the plates are solid welded in and down the face here. I feel like crawling in there again. Been in and out of there 50 times. But yeah, it's looking good. So obviously we need a pan hard bar, which we're going to have to figure out. Do the same thing as we did burning green from this front maybe to this back side there. So we'll get that figured out. And then shocks. Again, shocks are the last thing we're waiting on. So I can take the strap and put it around there so at least I can lift it up in the air, which is what I've been doing. So I got some more welding to do on the outsides of both of these plates. So I'll probably go ahead and just wrap that up. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. The rear end is mounted into the Dodge panel truck. Panel van. Carl keeps correcting me on that. I call it a panel truck. Doesn't make a difference. Delivery sedan. Why don't we call it that? But anyways, it's in. We're good to go. Shocks, shock mounts. That'll be wrapped up. And then next, I want to start trying to drop in, well, the mock-up motor. Not the good one. Jason should really get his butt over here and get this and probably get started on that at some point. So that's going to do it, guys. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. There might be a lot of time-lapse. There might be a lot of me rambling on in this video and all the rest to come. But you know what? I'm documenting this for myself because I kind of regret building these other trucks and not recording the stuff we did. So there it is. If you like it, give it a thumbs up, guys. Subscribe. If you don't, still thumbs up anyway. So we'll see you in the next one.